German politicians are reconsidering their plans for a permanent nuclear waste storage facility. People living near the proposed site have expressed strong opposition to the idea. The site is in the district of Gorleben. And right now, it's the only location being considered. Residents are concerned that radioactive waste could contaminate groundwater. Environment Minister Peter Altmaier says the government will form a panel to review the plan. Members will include people from environmental groups and religious organizations. They will draw up guidelines to help the government choose a candidate site by the end of 2015. They're going to reconsider Gorleben as a possible location for the nuclear waste.
Tens of thousands of people in Taiwan have demonstrated against construction of the country's fourth nuclear power plant, which is located near Taipei. Protests took place on Saturday in 4 cities, including Taipei and Kaohsiung. The rallies were held to mark the second anniversary of the nuclear disaster in Fukushima, Japan, which has further raised concerns among residents. Police say about 50,000 protesters marched from the presidential office in Taipei. The protesters chanted, "Reject dangerous nuclear power plants," and called for the suspension of the project.
We should abolish the fourth plant and let Taiwan become nuclear-free.
Taiwan's fourth nuclear plant in New Taipei City has been hit by a series of problems since construction began in 1999. The project has been delayed by more than 10 years, partly because of a political dispute between the ruling and opposition parties. Taiwanese authorities are planning to hold a referendum on whether to continue construction of the country's fourth nuclear facility.
People around the world are voicing their opposition to nuclear energy. Demonstrations were also held in Europe ahead of March 11th, the second anniversary of the nuclear accident in Japan. In Germany, protesters rallied at 4 locations on Saturday. They demanded an immediate halt to the country's 9 nuclear reactors that are still online. The government plans to close all nuclear plants by 2022. Organizers say a total of 28,000 people took part in the demonstrations. In the northern city of Hildesheim, protesters formed a human chain and demanded a halt to the operation of a nuclear plant near the city.
The accident in Fukushima was a warning to Germany. I believe that nuclear power puts future generations at constant risk.
Anti-nuclear demonstrations are planned in Berlin and elsewhere on Monday. In Paris, about 20,000 demonstrators formed a human chain. The event was jointly organized by 26 anti-nuclear groups in France. Near an office of the French nuclear energy giant Areva, protesters shouted anti-nuclear slogans such as "No more nuclear plants" and "No more Fukushimas." France currently has 58 nuclear reactors online, which generate nearly 80% of the country's electricity. President François Hollande says the government will decrease the rate to 50% by 2025. A recent poll suggests that French people supporting nuclear power outnumber opponents by a large margin.